Moi vaan kaikille Keskiympyrän katselijoille ja kuuntelijoille ja tervetuloa jälleen uusimman jakson pariin. Tällä kertaa saamme vieraaksemme brasilialaisen pallovirtuoosin Lucas Kaufmannin, mies, joka on viihtynyt Suomessa jo yli 10 vuoden ajan, näin voidaan sanoa. Muutamankin eri otteeseen täällä ollut, mutta tosiaan pitkiä aikoja hänet muistetaan erityisesti Hongasta. Nyt hänen sopimuksessa kuitenkin Honkaan purettiin, ei tullut peliaikaa tällä kaudella niin paljon kuin mies olisi halunnut yhteisymmärryksessä. Sopimus purettiin ja hän siirtyi Ekkeneen IF:n riveihin ykköseen. Se on hänelle tuttu seura jo entuudesta ja mies itse asiassa Tammisaaressa jo asunutkin tässä tämän vuoden aikana. Siitä kuulemme kohta lisää, kun saamme Lucas Kaufmannin Keskiympyrän vieraaksi. So Lucas Kaufmann is here now with us. Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, Ville. Thank you for inviting me, and warm welcome to everyone listening.
So I wanted to. There are several reasons why I wanted you to the show, and before your signing to AF, I already wanted to have you here with us because it's not very common that players from different countries come to Finland and stay here as long as you have stayed here. So that is one thing I wanted to talk with you. But firstly, how are your first days now in Ekkenäs? How's it been?
It's been great, actually. I don't know if many people know this, but my wife is actually from here, from Ekenes, and we have decided to move back to her city in the end of last year. So I actually have been living here this whole year. So it feels like I never left the team, and it feels like coming back home. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely it's like it's not that long drive to training and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, not anymore. But the drive was never the problem to go to Espoo, but of course here it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, of course. So basically, and you were so long with Honka that I forgot that you played earlier in Ekkenes, but you have played there for a few times. So is it like another home for you in Finland?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like my connection with the community surrounding the team here is very strong. Whenever we had the time to come watch games and hang out with my wife's parents, we always did that, and the F was always a big part of the things we did when we were here. So yes, it's like coming back.
Yeah. So well, the first days now you've been with the team. How do you feel? You played one game already, and I said on Monday when I was doing this show that you have a lot of talent in the team. You know, so many great individuals. So how do you feel about the team?
Well, before coming here, I thought that AF, together with probably Gnistan and maybe TPS now coming strong, had a great chance to promote. And then I thought they had a team strong enough individually, like you point out, but also collectively to promote. So now that I'm here, hopefully their chances got a little bit better. But it's a really good team. It's a really strong team. There's a lot of great individuals, but the atmosphere in the trainings, the locker room, the style of coaching is a really good. It's a real proper football team, and the whole city and community come together with it. So I think we have everything to come to the next games and get great results and hopefully promote in the end of the season.
Yeah, now you're already getting those good results at the moment. So the feeling in the locker room must be high.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, there's a good mix of players and from the different backgrounds that they have, but everybody seems to be so glad to be there and to be part of this team. Even though, of course, every player wants to play, and there is competitions for position, competitions to see who is the best fit for the next game. There's still like a great atmosphere in the training. The players are happy that their teammate is succeeding, so that really brings a different feeling being part of that team, and it shows, I think, during the trainings and during the game. There's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of Anyway, players really support one another. It's a really great feeling to be part of that.
Yeah, and I imagine that it can be hard sometimes because, like you said, there are players from so many different background. If you think about many players from Europe, from South America, now from Africa, so it's not always easy to make it click that well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very often that I mean, it's easier for players to just stick with people with similar backgrounds. Maybe they're same country, and kind of like not create divisions within the team, but you have groups. It's natural to have groups, and by all means, AF also has groups. But I feel like the whole idea of the team as a united structure is very strong. There's a very good feeling of being there, and players like I said, really supporting one another. And whenever somebody does something good, everybody's happy that that happened. There
Yeah,
isn't this kind of like not part of my group or player from my position.
yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
is a really great atmosphere there.
Okay, okay, I understand. So, tell us a little bit about the process, uh, how it went from you to uh, come from Honka to Ekenes. Like you wrote that, and you said that that uh, you had great years with Honka, as we know, and great memories, and that's, I believe that that's uh, in your heart, that club. And but now this year, you didn't have that kind of a role that you maybe wanted. So tell us about the process, how it went. Did you went to talk to coaches, or Hexi, or how did it happen?
Uh, well, I think it involves all the elements of the club. Of course, the idea and the main wish came from me. Like I said, for people that follow my career, I can see that in the past year, mostly my importance and the amount of minutes I play really decreased in comparison to the previous ones. And I also had been a bit too many years in the club. There is a certain point where perhaps there isn't so much to give anymore. The line between the motivation and the hunger of being there perhaps it wasn't the same.
Mm,
So it came from me, the idea to perhaps maybe now it's time to change for something else, something that brings me back to this hunger, this going every day to training and feeling good about being there and like motivated to get better and help the club. Of course, the times that I've been in Honka, I was also always trying my best, always trying to support in any role that I was given. But as a football player, you want to be on the field. You want to be there in the 90 minutes. You wanna feel like part of the bigger picture, and that wasn't happening so much in Honka. So yes, I spoke with Hexi, I spoke with Vesa as well. I always try to keep a clear line of communication with them and being as transparent as I could. They understood my point. I understood their point. So in the end, we kind of like agreed that it was actually a good idea for me to come now to AF, try to help them out, and I mean the future nobody knows what happens. So hopefully I made the right decision. But there is no hard feelings with Honka with anyone, any of the personnel that is there or any of the players. It's just I think natural step in football. So things go like that.
yeah, yeah, I understand, but it must be hard, because like you said, it's a very important club for you, and very very important time. So I imagine that there is a part of you that wants to stay there because you are still loving it, but also you're a professional football player, and you want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about Honka. It's one of for sure top five and top three clubs in Finland. Every year we are hungry for titles. We are hungry to get to the European spots. There is this whole demands in the training. There is great players involved, great coaching staff involved. So it is a club that you want to be a part. And for all my years in Honka, and one of the reasons that you mentioned, you're wondering why I stay in Finland so long. Honka has always given me all the tools necessary to improve, and all the challenges necessary to keep me motivated and keep me wanting to be there. So it is a great club. Gave me all the things that I needed, everything that I asked for. They tried to help me, and it's of course it's hard after 7 years. I know everyone. I know the locker room very well, but there was a certain point that perhaps that wasn't working for me anymore. I didn't have the same feeling in the day by day training, and that's something that I never want to feel. I always want to feel like I want to be here. I'm motivated to be here, and when that starts to maybe lack a little bit every single day, then perhaps it's time for a change. Because otherwise, it's not good for me. It's not good for the club. And I mean, I'm there to play football, and if I cannot do that at my best and help them out the best I can, then maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah, and like we talked, now you're in Ekenes in eighth, and you have a great challenge there. It's not like you come to Ykkönen just to play, but the challenge is to promote with eighth, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not even worried if I'm gonna do well, if I'm gonna be the best in the field, if every game I'm gonna score or assist. My objective here with the club, together with the people involved, is clear: is to promote. So whatever we can do to achieve that, it's enough for me.
Yeah, and like you said, you've been living already in Tammisaari, and your wife is from there. So was it clear to go to eighth, or did you have any options? Because I believe that maybe some Veikkausliiga team would have wanted you to strengthen their squad.
Yeah, but perhaps nobody really knew that I would like to leave.
Yeah.
Nobody really asked me about my situation if I was looking for a change. And since it came from me, the idea to, maybe it's time to part ways and so on. Of course, my choice would always be come back to Ekenes. It's where I'm living, it's where I know the people, I know some of the players. So perhaps some Veikkaus Liga team was caught by surprise, and maybe they thought, like you said, he could have come here and help us out. But it was more of a personal choice at this point for me, so that's why I chose to come back here.
Yeah. So let's get let's go a little bit back and a lot of back actually, because I wanted to know, like, you're from Brazil, and as we know, football is like a religion there. So how did you start to play football, or did you ever start to play football? You just played it from
Uh,
when you were a kid that could walk.
well, yeah, I think every Brazilian child, the first gift they get is a ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know when I started, but I think as long as I could more or less walk, I was already kicking the ball around. But the first official, let's say, training and team was when I was in school. I think I was in the third grade, I believe. And then, no, not the third grade. I was 3 years old, and my brother was 7, and he already had like a futsal training. He had a coach, and his classmates would join. And that was after my class, so I would go there and watch. And I was always like, I want to play as well. I want to participate. Like why is there no team for me? And then my mom went to speak to the coach, and apparently there are other kids that also had older brothers, and they also would like to have like a formal football team. So then the school felt a little bit not pressure, but they're like, okay, there are enough kids to make a team. So they started a 4-year-old football team, and that's when I started like a training.
Yeah. And what point did you already, when you started training, did you have the dream to become a professional footballer?
Yes, absolutely. The dream is always there. I think for everyone in Brazil, until maybe they're old enough to understand the whole football world and what it would actually means and what it actually takes to be a football player. I think every kid dreams to be one. So of course there was the dream there. There was the idea that perhaps in the future I can be one of the superstars that I see on TV. So yeah, that's definitely what makes us start for sure.
Yeah. And when I was looking all the clubs that you have played, your first uh, transfer to away from Brazil was to Portugal, which is usually like might be the easiest way from Brazil to move to Europe, right?
Yeah, because of the language
Yeah.
and proximity between the coaches, as is the easiest step.
Yeah. So what kind of a change was it from move from Brazil to Europe?
Well, at that time in Brazil, I think I was late 18 years old, so it was pretty much in that age that you either make it to the professional level or you just have to kind of like more or less quit and find something else to do. So I wanted to give it a shot, and I felt that the Brazilian football market, let's put it that way, was too crowded. There was too many players. There's too much elements involved. I don't want to get into that, but it's very difficult to make it as a professional footballer in Brazil.
Mm.
So I wanted a break from all of that, and then I knew a guy that knew this club in Portugal. They were playing third division at the time. So I asked if I could join them, for a little tryout and so on. They took me there. They let me play for their second team or under 19, the juniors, and I was training with the professionals, and that was just like an incredible opportunity. And it was, I wouldn't say life changing, but it was a really big moment because I was training and with players that had big names in Portugal, that they were maybe 38, 36 years old, and I was barely 19 at the time, I believe. So it was like a big learning opportunity for me to be around those players, their mentality, and it became a big club. I think they're playing second league in Portugal at the moment, so it was a big experience for me. It was a great time. But you're gonna ask from there to Finland, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, but I wasn't getting any salary, and I was only playing
Okay.
with the under 19. So I wanted to play for the professional level, for the adults team, and they weren't really sure if they would be giving me that opportunity because they had a lot of good players. So I was a little bit upset with that. And I had a friend actually coming to Finland, coming to play in Keskiympyrän. So he asked me like, Lucas, I'm coming here now. I don't know how it's gonna be. I would like if someone could come with me. Do you feel like you wanna stay in Portugal? Or you're looking for something else? I was like, no, for sure, I come with you, definitely. So it was an easy choice. I mean, I didn't know much about Finland at the time, but I guess it was the correct choice.
Yeah, but at that point you were really far from home because like you said, Portugal is kind of easy. The weather is warm and the language
Mm.
is the same, but then you come to Finland where it's cold and dark and people only speak in Finnish and a little bit English.
I actually, everybody spoke quite decently English everywhere I went,
Yeah.
and I knew some English already back from home. I guess I kind of like could get my way around it, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't learn Finnish because everybody could speak English with me, so I ended up speaking with them. But I mean, of course, it's a little bit of shock of reality. You're coming from a tropical country such as Brazil, and you come to Finland, so the climate is a lot different, and also the people are also different. The culture, the costumes, everything, food. But I never tried to bring Brazil to Finland. Since I was here and I starting to know this new life, this new world, I tried to adapt myself and fit in
Mm.
to the society and the culture here. And I guess that's why one of the reasons why I never felt homesick. I made a lot of friends here in and outside of football, and they has always been so welcoming and always make me feel so like liked in here. Everybody like really appreciated every team that I've been to. There's always some very strong support. So yeah, I mean it is different, it is, but I always enjoyed it. So for me, there's no problem. The cold, the winter, it's okay.
Yeah, but there must be something still. Even though you've been in Finland like around 10 years now, but there must be something that you miss from home.
I mean, of course, I enjoy going to the beach and surfing and this type of thing. So it lacks a little bit here, but at least Ekenes has a little bit more water and it's a little bit warmer, so it brings a little bit that. But Brazil doesn't have such a strong winter. We don't have snow. We don't have northern lights. There are many things that only Finland has if you compare to Brazil. So I try to look in that point of view, that the things that I can do here that I never did and could not do at home.
Mm.
And then whenever we have time, we always go and stay about a month in Brazil. So it's a good balance. I think it's good.
Yeah, and that's what I was planning to ask, that you still have the possibility to go back to Brazil like once a year or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, usually, at least back when I was in Hongkong, we usually had December free for the players, and that's more or less when Ronya, my wife, tried to take her vacation as well. So we kind of like get that 4 weeks before Christmas to stay in Brazil. So we run away from the terrible December
Yeah.
weather where it's not cold. There's a lot of rain. So we try to come here for about Christmas time, and hopefully there is snow everywhere and it's dry weather.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds nice. I wish I could do that as well. But like you said, your first team was PKK. So did you live in Kerava or did you live in Helsinki? Where did you stay?
I stayed in Tuusula and in Kerava. I lived
Okay.
1 year in each of the cities. Yes.
So basically, also that was a little bit life changing to live in Kerava and Tuusula because
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny because that was so long ago that the smartphones weren't even that big of a thing. You know, not everybody had the internet in their phones and could like Google stuff around and so on. So I didn't know exactly where I was. I knew it was kind of close to Helsinki because we went there often, but I didn't know so much about the country and the cities around and how they look like and so on. So for me, like, this was great. You know, it's a great city. Of course, later on, I started to learn a little bit more and check how the cities are and so on. So okay, now you see the more or less the reality between the places, but at the time that I was there, it was amazing.
yeah, and you also played in Regions Cup final with PKK, and there's a question about that final. What kind of memories do you have from that final against TPK?
Was we lost, right? Was
Yeah,
it 3-2 or 4-2, if I remember?
yeah,
Yeah, I remember. I think I scored both goals for PKKU. I scored a very nice one actually. I dribbled a couple of guys from the half line and did an amazing shot. But yeah, it was interesting for us to play that tournament, especially for me. I mean, like I guess we would promote if we would have won, we would have been like the representative of Finland in this European competition. So I was like, whoa, oh my God, really amazing. Okay, I didn't know the dimensions of that tournament, but yeah, we end up losing.
yeah. And actually, Tara here in the chat is saying that it was not the final. It was a game in Regions Cup,
Okay.
and you took a red card in that game against TPK.
Okay, then maybe I remember it wrong, which game it was.
Yeah, maybe you were talking about the final or something, but I'm
Yeah.
not.
Okay. Then if it's this other game, yeah, we also lost. Yeah. But then I guess that one was at home. Maybe we lost 2-1 or 1-0. Yeah, I got a red card. In the end of the game, I think I tried to dribble a couple guys. Somebody hit me. I turn around and then we headbutt each other. Well, I headbutt him, and then I got a red card.
Good
Yeah, I was
memories.
I was young. I was young, very very warm blood.
Yeah, but like you survived Kerava, which is a bit of a joke, like with us Finns to talk
Yeah,
about
I know.
Kerava, but but you survived it, and even though you lived there, you still stayed in Finland. So what can you say? What are the things that made you stay in Finland? Was it just the beautiful women and your wife? Like after that
Yeah,
trip?
I think it was when coming to Aiken has made me stay in Finland.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I mean, Finland has always gave me everything that I needed. Like I said, I started in Kerava, then didn't know so much about the country, didn't know about so much the clubs. We promoted from Kolomonen to Kakkonen, and then there was a challenge to play Kakkonen, you know, a little bit higher level, better players. So you play that. And then I got the chance to come to Eknes, play for AF. We promoted to Ikonen. So every time that I had been here, there has been like a new challenges. There has been like a different expectations from the club, more resources, better players, better coaches, and then from there to the other club, and then in that club to the next step of that own club. So I think that's perhaps what made me stay so long. There was always a new challenge. There was always a new objective, and I always end up succeeding in that. I proud myself for always keeping up with the demands, keeping up with the needs of the club, and succeeding on those. I promoted almost every division in Finland. I played in so many fields against so many players, and I still managed to get almost to the top. I did not win Veikkausliiga yet, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but I think it's when I look at it like that, it's something to be proud of. I managed to go through all divisions in Finland, and always being like one of the best players in my team and succeeding and being good enough to go to the next level. So I think that's maybe what made me stay here. And of course, Ronja, we got married last year, but we've been together for 8 years now. So that also now brings this not only football. I've also had a life outside of football. I graduated in international business for a university in Helsinki. So there were a lot of things going on in my life at the same time that made me stay in Finland. I always provided, so no complaints.
Yeah, and there is also a good question here in the chat about Oman, because that was one thing you did between these years in Finland. You went to Oman, and there's a question, how was the league in Oman? I would say that no one in Finland knows how to play, how the football is in Oman.
Well, the football itself was good.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, there was some good money. Not as much, perhaps, as people see now. For example, in Saudi Arabia, it's nothing like that, or Dubai, or Qatar, or even Bahrain. But it was a country with money, with resources, so they could bring really good players. But there wasn't so much of a football culture there.
Yeah.
There wasn't so much at junior levels. There wasn't so much of a club. You see that there weren't these academies, there weren't this like so many fans as well, and connection between teams and city. It was just a bunch of teams more or less playing against each other. So football wise, there wasn't that culture, but the games and the stadiums were amazing. And if you think that for me, coming from Brazil to Finland was like a shock and a whole different world, it was a much bigger shock for me going to Oman,
Mm.
and much harder time being there than it has ever been being here. Uh, Barely anyone spoke English. Religion is such a strong feature in their day by day life, and there I was seen as the outsider. Not only from the way I look, but also I'm not connected to any sort of religion. So it was a really difficult time. Of course, I was young also. It was a big learning experience. But once I've been there, the 7 months that I was there, I knew that it was enough for me.
Yeah, and from there you came back to Finland, and you came back to AIF. So if you think about that club now, Ekenes EF, and compare it to that what it was in 2015, how has the club evolved?
Well, of course, the club grew bigger. Their objectives grew bigger. So the demands are higher, the expectations are higher, the investment is higher. But I think at the same time, AF did not lose their connection with the city.
Mm.
I feel like a lot of clubs, once they start perhaps becoming not too big, but just bigger, it's easier to lose this connection between the city and the club. They become a little bit more disconnected because you start bringing players that nobody really knows about. Perhaps the coaching doesn't want outside people involved in the trainings, in the daily activities and things like that. But AF remains having the same type of atmosphere, this environment that anyone can come and watch our trainings, and people actually come and do that. So even though they are not part of the team, they are connected to it. They are there watching. They have easy contact with the players. The coaches answer their questions. There is this whole exchange and this whole like a feeling of everyone belonging to the same thing that perhaps the bigger clubs doesn't have. So of course it grew. It's a much bigger club now and has I wouldn't say that the facilities got much better, but of course the field itself and the things outside got better, but especially the team and the mentality that they have right now has grew a lot. But still, they can still be considered as like a hometown team. I think the people from Ekenes are still very proud and very supportive of the team because of that. Because even though they are growing and having like very big goals, they are still the team from the city. It feels like they're still our guys. They're still like one of us.
Yeah, yeah, and also one thing I wanted to ask about AIF, because well, of course you're not professional of these things, but I wanted to ask, how do you see it, because it feels like AIF has been really good on scouting players, finding talents from outside of Finland. So, and it's weird because we see AIF, this small team from Finland, like there is a chance that you are promoting to Veikkausliiga, but still it's a small club. So how do you see it? How it's possible there to find that kind of talent?
I don't know how they do their scouting. I don't know how is it the process that they do, but if you look at the AF from the past years, a lot of players that have been in the club at some point have went to higher stages, right? I have been there, and I ended up playing Vekos Liga. Chalman has been there, now he's in Poland. Paul Akoku was here, now he's playing in Betis. So there's a lot of players that have been here, spent 1 or 2 years, and were able to achieve higher things. I think that creates a little bit of it's a place where young players and people that want to do the next step want to come, because if you come here and you succeed here, you're going to be able to go to a higher place. So people can really use AF as a trampoline. And because of these successful stories, I think it's easier to convince players to perhaps come here, struggle a little bit for a year or two, and then get the rewards. So I guess they should use this type of mentality with the players that they use. And of course, however they brought Paul and other successful African players here, they probably still remain in contact with the people involved in bringing those players here and to bring new ones and finding new talent. So yes, they do amazing scouting, and then they're getting the results from it.
Yeah. What do you think? Who is going to be the next one, next big star coming from AIF? Now you have a little, you have a chance to put some pressure to your new teammates.
I don't know many of them that well, but there are a lot of young talents in Eknes. But that's also a tricky thing once the club starts to become a little bit big, to find the balance between how many players you're going to bring from outside and how many of your youth players you're going to give the chance to play and chance to develop. I think if you look at Honka, they do that very well.
Yeah.
They have very good academy, but at the same time, they are using their academy players. They're putting them uh, to our trainings daily, and eventually they're going to be playing as well. So they're going to get their chances. So I don't know who's going to be the next big player from Ekenes here, but if the club keeps having this mentality, not only to develop them, but to give them the chances in the first team, I think it can be any of them, really.
Yeah. Exactly. Um, what would you say? Uh, you had already a long career. You've been in different clubs, managed by different coaches. So, who has had the biggest influence in your career? There must be many many players, many coaches. If you think back, but who are the first names that come to your mind?
Well, as a coach, Bessa Wasser, for sure. Been with
Mm.
him now 7 years, and I think same idea and the history a little bit of my own with his. We also joined Honka when they were in Ikonen, and we also had been thrown at different challenges at different seasons, having different goals, and we still managed to succeed. And we were together for so long. So yes, and I had a big influence by him and his ideas of football and his style of coaching. So we also been so many years together, and I had the chance, and I'm glad to have had the chance to have been with so many different players from so many different countries, and they have been playing in much bigger leagues than Finnish Veikkaus Liga, even with great players, and they all pinch a little bit here, a little bit there. They all were managed to help me grow to the player that I became. So it's hard to mention one. As coaches, I can easily say Vesa, we've been together for so long, and he has been so successful and helped me be successful. But uh, for players, I think it's difficult. There has been so many, and I'm glad to have met them, and I still keep in contact with many of them. So, it's hard to point out just one.
Yeah. What was Vesku's reaction to these conversations with you when it looked like that you are not going to continue in Honka?
I, I I want to believe that it wasn't easy for him as well. It's a little bit hard to read him, but uh, well, he said that if it was up to him, he would not me to go because I perhaps not have the same importance in the field as I used to. But in football, we never know what may happen. Perhaps one of our stars would get injured or having any other type of problems. And I think he appreciated a lot the work that I did in the locker room and within the players and so on. I was, after all, second captain this year, so I had a big role in the team's daily activities. So it must be sad for him as well. I mean, we've been together for 6.5 years, almost 7, and like I said, all the challenges that we went through together. We never had any type of issues, never had any problems in the trainings, and always kept a good relationship. So it must have been difficult for him, but at the same time, I think it's part of his job to administrate these type of situations and look at both for the player and the team what is the best. So it's just football, nothing personal. And of course, the moment the decision was made, we both made very clear that this doesn't mean that we don't have to talk anymore. He told me, Lucas, if you ever have any problems or if you ever want to talk about things, doesn't matter if it's football or not, you have my number, you can call me. And I said same to you, of course. So we still have this channel open.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think about those years you were in Honka, what are the highlights of that period? What do you think about that? What are those flashes or images?
For sure, when we promoted from Ikonen to Veikkausliiga in
Yeah.
playing both against HIFK, that was really important because from that point on, Honka was back at Veikkausliiga, I was back at Veikkausliiga, so things started to roll from that point, and then the bronze medal, all the European games that we had. Unfortunately, I never get to play the semifinal of the cup with Honka. All the times that we have been there, I was either injury or now I'm in Ekenes, and the other time that they reached, I was actually playing for Hoiko in the beginning of the season, so I couldn't play for them.
Yeah.
So it feels like I never got to play that. But yeah, there is those type of games, and also the people that I met. I think really again, it might sound a little bit of a cliche, but I met some amazing friends for life there, and being able to share those moments with them was what really ended up mattering to me.
Yeah, and I also I have to say I was commentating a lot your games when you were playing in Ykkönen every home game on that season, and also uh, uh, the last match against EFK, which was maybe the one of the best games I ever like commentated because of all the stakes and whatever happened. Ilari Ayala scoring the goal, his last game of his career. So there was something magical.
Yeah, that game was special, absolutely.
Yeah. Um. So now when you left Honka, you had a great moment. Uh, on was it on Sunday the game against Inter before the game. So you you got some flowers and some cheers from the whole stadium. How was that moment for you? Did you was it hard to try not to cry?
It is a hard moment. I mean, so many memories, so many years in that stadium with those people. So I was glad I was able to have a little bit of a farewell like that. I don't
Yeah.
think every player get the chance to do that. So it goes a little bit of a flashbacks of memories you had, that special moments. But being able to share everything with the people that were there every game, it is special, yes. So I was happy to be able to share this last moments now in Honka with them. But I still I went there, and I'm gonna continue going there to watch their games. Still gonna be connected with the people around there. But it was nice to get a little bit of praise and some applause in the end. I was able to thank them back as well. And like I said, I got some flowers. Ron, I really like them, so that's good.
Yeah, and uh, like you said that it's not really a farewell. It's like you'll be seeing them again, and also Heksi Arteva said that in the future there is a role for you. Have you talked about that, or is it just something like beautiful words that he said, or have you talked that you might have a role in Honka in the future?
It comes a certain point on every player's life, and especially mine now. I'm 32. I've been there for so long, so this thoughts and ideas about what to do after, and do you feel like you could be working here afterwards? And because I feel like football players, as in general, have like perhaps the easier time just doing this transition between being a player to still being involved in football somehow. And because I've been there for so long, and I know like the culture of the team and how things operate in the team, it would be a natural, slight, slighted-ish, easy step for me to just go and do that. But yeah, so I mean, we spoke, but more like in an informal way,
Yeah.
things that you would like to do, things that interest me, and so on. And then, of course, he has an amazing career as a businessman, and he managed Honka to become the club that they are right now. So I mean, it's a super interesting and smart guy to talk to and get some advices, learn a little bit from him. So uh, same with him and Vesco, we still have like an open channel and we still can easily talk to each other. So I'm not gonna say no, but I still hope I can play a couple of more 4 or 5 years before I do this transition. But yeah, it's something that I have in the back of my mind. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, so basically you still at this point you still don't have like a really exact plan what you're gonna do after the career.
Yes and no. I mean, it's hard to really predict. Let's say if I really want to play 5 more years, and there's still a lot to happen between
Yeah.
now and then. But if I was to retire right now, then yes, I would like to be involved in football in more of like a managing point of view. I wouldn't like to be coaching or involved with that, but doing this midfield between the football club and the club itself, it's something that has always interested me and something that I've been researching and doing things about. So it is something that I've been looking forward to do it if I was to end my career right now.
Yeah, but you're not, and let's hope that we get to see you still on the pitch for many years. So
Let's hope so.
what are the dreams football wise now when you're 32 and playing now? Of course the promotion with AF is clear, but is there something else that you want to achieve?
Yes, promote with eighth and then keep them in Vegas Liga for as long as I'm playing. I think that's perhaps one of the biggest challenges for all the clubs coming from Ikonen, not only to promote, perhaps you can even say that the promotion is the easy part. The hard part is what happens after that. So one of my dreams is to establish, now that I'm here in Eknes in AF, establish them as one team that has enough structure both in and out the field to maintain and to stay in Vegas Liga and to be really considered one of the top teams in Finland.
Yeah, and like you said and like we spoke that you already promoted, you know how to promote, from division to another one, and now from division to Veikkausliiga. So what does it take from the team to promote? What are the biggest things that you have to have that you get the promotion?
Well, when you look at the league, the way it is structured, back in the time that I promoted with Honka, it was structured a little bit different. There were 33 games,
Mm.
or was it 27? I don't remember. Either one.
Yeah.
But to be first in that, you need to have a good team. So you need the quality, you need the hardworking players, you need the tactics, you need the training. It's a whole season. Every game matters. It's something else. But now that the season is so that you play 22 and then it gets split into six, and then from there perhaps you have to play playoffs between the teams from your own division, and then perhaps eventually a playoff against Veikkausliiga. Then I think it's a lot about the heart. It's a lot about the feeling that the team has as one. It comes to this point of this type of games that, yes, you need to have clear tactics, you need to have clear solutions how to attack, clear solution how to defend, but it's gonna come down to the heart of the player. It's a lot of emotions. It's a very nervous game. So the team that has perhaps the most hunger and the most willingness is the team that is going to succeed. So I hope that we don't get to the playoff stage. I hope we can promote by points because the playoff is a very special, different game that I've been successful in most of the ones that I played. but it's a very difficult game. It's mentally very exhausting. So I hope we can get it without that. But if it has to come to that, I think AF has the hunger, has the feeling within the players that we can get the job done.
Yeah, now at this point, when we see like Knistan on top, and we might feel that yeah, Knistan might be the team that is going up, but still you have to remember that, like you said, the league is split, and you play many big games in the end of the season, so it is really like anything can still happen.
Yeah, I remember the year we finished third, actually. If I'm not mistaken, Interturku was very clear ahead before the split, and Coops was perhaps 5 or 7 points behind, let's say five. And then after the split, Coops was champion with, I think, clear points, and we managed to go from fifth place to third.
Mm.
So it is a very, very, very like it's almost like the first games are almost like a preseason, and then those games are the ones that are like really mean for the season. Those are the ones that are going to decide, and it's a completely different feeling. So a team that has been playing well, has been doing well, might come to this last 5 games and struggle. So as long as Guinistan is within reach, I think we can go to these 5 games with not worry about we're not going to be able to reach them. As long as we do things our way, I think we should be able to get them.
Yeah, and well, nevertheless, every game from now on is very important, and you need points from every game. So another big game on Friday against EFK in Helsinki. The this episode is coming out on Friday. What are your thoughts about that game at this point?
Uh, well, like you said, every game matters a lot, and we need to face the games like they really matter because they really do. So I expect EFK to also be facing the games like that. They had a tough loss now against Yaro, so they need to pick up the points that they lost. So I expect them to come very hungry against us. But we are ready for that, regardless of what the other teams are doing, how they're preparing. We have our own goals, our own objectives. So we need to do it for ourselves, and we need to go there and get out to the 3 points. If we ever have any dream, any ambition to reach Guinistan, we need to pick up the points that we have left from behind. So it is a tough game. It's a big opponent. It's a very big stadium with a great atmosphere. You know, it might change a little bit the perspective of the game, but we have to go there and go for the victory.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. The Ykkönen is so exciting. This the end of the season is crazy to watch, and from my perspective as a commentator, I'm really looking forward every game. So it's gonna be a great end of the season. So well, in the end, I wanted to give you an opportunity to, because I know that there is a lot of Honka supporters listening to this episode. As we know, you now you left the team and left the club. So if you want to say something to them, you already did it, like in a way on Instagram on this news. But still, if you want to say something to them, you can. The word is yours.
Just thank you for all the times that you guys were there in the away games, in the home games, supporting us, pushing us to the limit. I think we had great moments together. I am very proud to have been part of Honka and having been the player in the field that you guys were supporting. I think we had amazing years. But football is like that. I hope I didn't break any hearts by leaving. I'm still now one of the Honka fans, one of the supporters, and I wish the best for the club. The best for the club would mean that is the best is happening for the fans as well. So it's just that. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, and Joel in the chat is thanking for you the great goal against Topol this season.
Thank you.
uh, Lucas, thank you so much for being on the show. It was great to speak with you and hear your story, how you ended up here in Finland. It has been great to watch you play. Always fun to commentate your games, and I have a one request. I want to see still on this season 1 goal from distance. Is it possible? Is it possible? Can you guarantee at least one?
Oof, can I guarantee? I don't know if I can guarantee, but I can guarantee that I can try. That's the
All
best
right.
I can do.
Okay.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's enough for me. Hey, thank you so much, and have a great night in Tammisaari. Enjoy the weather. It's still it's almost tropical at the moment.
Yeah. Nah, thank you, Ville. Thank you. Thank you for the chance to come here and have a chat. It was great, and thanks for commentating so many of my games. And I'm glad that it has been so fun for you.
Yeah, it really has. But hey, take care, and let's see on the pitch and outside of the pitch as well.
Yes. Thank you very much. All right. Good
Bye
night.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Jättimäinen kiitos Lucas Kaufmannille vierailusta. Oli hieno juttutuokio. Oikea todellinen herrasmies Lucas Kaufmann kyseessä. Hieno tarina aina Brasiliasta Suomeen, kauas Pohjolaan tänne, ja mies pitkään täällä viihtynyt ja vaikuttaa siltä, että tulee viihtymään Suomessa myöskin jatkossa. Ei muuta kuin toivotaan, että kaveri pysyy kunnossa ja pystymme nauttimaan hänen otteistaan vielä tulevina vuosina. Tässä oli Keskiympyrän Antti tällä kertaa. Ei muuta kuin oikein paljon kiitoksia seurasta ja palataan taas ensi kerralla. Moi moi!